My name is Jason Brennan. I hope you enjoyed this brief talk on personal health and well-being. The more time we spend practicing the rested mind, actually booking it into our busy schedule, the greater the benefits and the easier it is to go there. Some of the major benefits would be helping you to manage your emotions. Again, we're emotional beings as humans, and our emotions change throughout the day, and sometimes they can be intense. But the more time we are able to spend in a restful state of mind, the more control or influence we have over our emotions, especially stressful emotions or worrying emotions. So it can help us with anxiety or anxious thinking. It can help us with the physiological results of that, so the stress that we put on our body. So we're literally giving ourselves a break physically if we can rest more often, or give ourselves little bite-sized rests throughout the day. On the other side, we will have increased immune system, because actually we're giving ourselves a lovely dose of good chemicals. So actually our immune system will get an awful lot stronger, but we'll also feel an awful lot more confident, because we actually have something that we can rely on and go to give ourselves a break from the wear and tear of everyday life. And the more we go there, the more confident we feel in that strategy, in being able to use that. And again, if you follow on from the visualizations, it can lead to more self-esteem. So we can imagine ourselves not just resting and relaxing, but moving on to doing something that we really want to do and want to get better at, and being able to do it in a kind of a more confident and easygoing way. So it can boost our confidence and self-esteem. The research nowadays is showing that it's more important than ever to cultivate a rested mind. Now, what do we mean by that, a rested mind? Well, what it means is giving ourselves a break, being able to stop our thinking, running away, or overthinking, or being overstimulated. So pretty much what you might call peace in the mind. Now, that's not so easy. Nowadays, because there's so much happening in our world, in our lifestyle, there's a lot of stimulation. So we're finding it very difficult to find a place where we could simply rest and simply be. So this is one of the reasons why, certainly in the Western world, meditation and yoga and mindfulness has taken such hold over the last decade or so, because we really need these practices more often. Actually, if you go back in time, we were pretty good at it. We wouldn't have called it meditation. What we might have called it is daydreaming, where we just kind of sat around, lazed about, and we're just letting our mind wander. That's actually a form of meditation. Nowadays, we're not getting so much of that, because we're kind of more in a hurry and there's more things coming at us. So we actually have to book in time to learn to cultivate the rested mind. Now, why I call it cultivate is because we literally have to grow that part of our brain. And the only way to do that is to focus on it more often, to create a habit. I like to use the analogy of our brain being a bit like a capital city. There's a lot of energies, a lot of people, a lot of hustle and bustle. And that's only what we can see. There's also a huge amount that's going on in the office blocks. And that's a little bit like our brain. So we have a conscious side to our brain, which we can recognize, like the hustle and bustle on the street. But also then there's the unconscious mind, which is what's going on inside the buildings. Now, in every large capital city, you'll find a park, a green space that's intentionally put there. It's put there so people can take a break from the modern world, can just go and lie and laze about and connect and feel the grass or listen to water. So they're intentionally there to give people a break from the city. Well, it's the exact same with our mind. So if we're constantly in the hustle and bustle, well, we're not cultivating the rested mind. Now, there is a part of our brain where we can go and spend time and give ourselves a break. Now, when we do that intentionally, we actually grow that part of our brain just by going there. It's like expanding that park. So the park might start off as fairly small in our mind, but actually if we go there more often and plan it into our day, that park will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and actually more enjoyable, which gives you more places to go and things to check out. So how do we cultivate the rested mind? Well, the first part is awareness. We need to check in with ourselves on a regular basis to see how we're going in terms of our energy, our emotions, and what we're thinking about. Okay, what I find is my energy is a little bit low in the morning. So what can I do about that? Well, actually, I can create a space. Might be 5 minutes, might be 10 minutes, where I just go to where I want to be in my brain to feel better about myself and better about the world. Now, the way our brains work is we're quite visual. So if we can picture something, it makes it a lot easier to imagine it and go there more often. So in terms of cultivating the rested mind, well, it's different strokes for different folks. The key is to find a place in your mind where you do feel very, very rested. And one of the best ways to do that is to go back and connect in with times when you did feel genuinely rested. Where was it? Was it on a couch? Was it on a bed? Was it sitting in a field? Was it on a train and feeling it rocking and going backwards and forward? Because it's better if you actually have a real image that you can connect to first and then build on. If, say, for example, your image is sitting in a couch or a big chair, well, make that chair really big and really soft. Now, that chair doesn't necessarily have to be in a house. It could be in the middle of a forest, because you might like to feel rested outside, not just cordoned in by walls and a roof. So you can imagine in your own mind sitting on that couch or that big fluffy chair in a forest beside a lake or beside a river, where you can hear the lake, you can hear the river, you can hear the rustle of the leaves in the trees. Wherever you feel most rested, you can go there and you can build on that. You can cultivate that image. So what we've found with neurobiology is the more time we spend in a particular part of our brain, the more we're building neuroplasticity. We're literally growing our neurons and the connections. We used to think in the past that we couldn't do this, that you couldn't teach old dog new tricks. Well, that's not true. We can learn all our lives, right until the day we die. If you want to grow your rested mind, you need to go there as often as you can. Now, again, we're busy people, so it may only be a couple of times a day. So it might be in the morning, check in to see how's our energy and do I want to go to that place where I feel rested. So you go and you sit down and you picture it. You picture that place in as much detail as you can. Your body will get the message. It will start to relax. It will start to produce hormones like serotonin, and dopamine, which are the feel-good hormones, to help you relax. And of course, the more time you spend there, the greater the growth of neurons. And again, you can do it later on just before you go to bed. You can, to help yourself get into a restful space before you go to sleep, just go and picture that place. Spend some time there. You can do it anywhere really. You can do it in your office, or you can go out and sit in nature. You can do it on a bus or a train. Just sit and go to that place in your mind. And the more you go there, the bigger that area of your brain will grow and make it much more easy to access. Now, if you become a really good expert at it and you spend a lot of time there, you can actually create a word that is associated with that restful place. It could be couch, if it's a couch. It could be bed. It could be nature. Whatever the word is that comes up for you while you're there. And if you practice that over and over, all you then have to do is think about that word or say that word out loud, and all of a sudden, boom, you're there. You're in that rested place. You're giving your brain a break. You're not overstimulated. You're quite the opposite. You're cooling down your system.